Here at Titan TV, we want to try and honor all of our seniors, or at least as many as we possibly can. Recently, Mrs. Kells sat down and interviewed another senior.
That's right. I'm really enjoying interviewing these seniors, getting a chance to talk to students I've never even met before. Today's senior really touched me. Her name was Olivia Russo. Check it out. Okay, so I just have 3 questions for you. The first question I think is a hard one. What do you miss the most about high school?
I miss a lot, honestly. Like, I miss being able to just go out of my house and be able to walk the halls. But most of all, I miss just seeing my friends and seeing some of my teachers, because something that's really hard is to communicate online, just because like I'm a person that like recognizes body language in people. So to be in front of a screen and not be able to catch all of those cues is kind of hard for me.
Yeah.
But just interaction with people that I hear about.
I think many people would agree with that. I certainly feel you on that. That is something I miss too. What was your favorite memory in high school?
My favorite memory would have to be all of the football games, because I was in band my sophomore year and then this year. So I love doing pep rallies and things like that, but just being together with people and having like that positive atmosphere, it was a lot of fun. Friday night like the thing that I go back to remembering, because like there would be really long bus rides, sometimes they'd be really short, but like just the conversations and the connections that I would have with people in band, I really miss that, and I miss them too.
Oh, I'm sure your band family is missing you so much right now.
Yeah.
But at least you have those memories. I know that is definitely bittersweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so last question, Miss Olivia. If you could pick 2 people to spend quarantine with, only 2 people, who would you pick and why?
I would probably choose my cousin and my grandmother, because I feel like every other day I was at my grandmother's house doing whatever we wanted to. Like, me and her used to be really big on baking, and like every time I would go to her house, there would be something new that we would be making. My cousin would also be there. We like doing arts and crafts together, watching movies together. They're literally like my best friends, because I've known them my whole life. And it's funny because I used to live in Atlanta, so I never really got to see my family that lived in Florida. So I only just connected with them like the past like 10 years or so. So I'm finally getting to that strong bond, and I don't get to see them all the time. But there's been a couple of times before quarantining got really strict that my cousin would come over and we'd go fishing, because I live on a lake. And then I would try to sneak out of my house and have my mask and gloves on to go visit my grandmother, but I can't really do that anymore. So I would definitely want to be quarantined with them, just because like I could live with them for the rest of my life.
That's so sweet. You know, I've interviewed a couple seniors, and so many people have said their grandma is one of the people they would quarantine with.
I mean, definitely, just because like I love my mom. I would probably put her on the list too. I know it's only 2 people, but like I've always been like surrounded by really impactful women in my life, just because like I love my dad, but he hasn't been like as active as my mom has, just because he's always been working, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. But to be surrounded by people that I love and that are role models to me, that has definitely like shaped me to the person I would be. So I would definitely try to be quarantined with them if I could.
That's sweet. You just gave me all these goosebumps and all these feels. Aw. Well, is there anything that you want to say for either the class of 2020 or the underclassmen, just as like a little message to them? Maybe your teachers?
Definitely. Yeah. There's a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. Like, I used to be a peer counselor. So it was my 3rd period this year. I miss them so much. And I took the class for granted. I'm going to admit that. And I used it as like a study hall class, because there was nothing for me to do all the time. But for them, they're all freshmen right now. I would want them to try and make as many memories as possible to look back on. And like, don't be afraid to like join clubs and things, because that's how you meet people that become your family in the long run. Like, I joined color guard my sophomore year, and it was almost an accident. like, I didn't want to do it at first, but someone dragged me to the auditions and I ended up having the best time of my life. So it's important to try and go make memories and go interact with people that you don't normally interact with, because I think that's what makes high school some of the best years of our life. And to the year of 2020, all of us, we're not necessarily going to be stuck here forever. So it's important to just keep your head high. And I was talking to someone yesterday and she asked me, like, what would be one thing that you would want to tell everybody right now? Like, what would be one single phrase? And I would say, be still, because our minds are constantly running and we're frantic about what's going to happen in the future. Are we going to be able to get out of quarantine and things like that? And I'm going to be honest, I was really stressed out and anxious and depressed the first week of quarantine because I didn't know all of these what ifs and like if everything would be okay. And I just realized that I needed to be still myself and try to find peace in the midst of the storm, I guess.
That is the best advice. And I think we all need that right now. I know we need it right now because we're so used to worrying about the next thing or planning the next thing instead of enjoying it. So now all this stuff is right here. And I know we're not all enjoying it necessarily and we all have different situations, but to just focus on what you can and just kind of let the rest happen and stay safe and healthy. And that's all you can do, you know?
Exactly. And like, instead of focusing on like all the negative outcomes, you can think of something positive to do after quarantine comes out. So like one thing that I was really disappointed about was prom, because I wanted to run for prom queen. And like me and my friends started making a committee and we were planning on baking and making t-shirts and posters and all these different things. And then it ended up getting canceled. So on the bright side of that, what I started to think up is I wanted to do a get together after COVID-19 is over and we're allowed to go outside again. And I'm trying to pick themes now for like a little get together in my backyard, and it'll be me and a couple of my friends. And we just have a good time, and it'll be our little makeshift prom if that comes down to it.
I love it. And don't give up. I mean, the leaders and the county and Miss McCann and everyone, all the hard sponsors and teachers are really trying to give you guys that. So don't lose the faith, but absolutely plan on smaller get-togethers just so you can have that to look forward to as well. But don't lose the faith. Yeah. We're going to do what we can for you guys for graduation, prom, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, I want to say thanks to like UHS Press and Titan TV and SGA and everybody who is trying to piece together everything right now, because like I know that we can't really have like a normal lifestyle, so to speak, but for you guys to be willing to do this for everyone, I really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm seriously going to cry. Thank you for those kind words to everybody, and we'll make sure we pass them on, and I hope more people are watching and are inspired by you, because it was really inspiring talking to you, and this is the message that we need right now. So just keep your head up and stay positive, Olivia. Give your family lots of love from a safe distance, and we look forward to finding out the things that we can do when this is over and continuing to recognize the class of 2020.
Definitely. Thank you for interviewing me. It's been really fun.
I appreciate it. Well, stay safe, sweetie. And I thank you again for your time, and I hope you have a great day.